Hey guys, so welcome back to layout number 4 from the February collection Obsession. This month, if you missed my kit, I am working with a paper kit from Stampin' Up. It's an old one. It doesn't have any strips or anything, so I'm not 100% sure about the name of the collection, but you'll see bits and pieces. I will have the playlist for Collection Obsession in case you're interested in seeing some of the previous layouts. Here I'm just starting with a framed ledger paper. I know it's hard to see. And I'm creating my background, and I'm going ahead and I've decided to do a grid style type layout. So I am going ahead and I'm using the Simple Stories, I think they're called photo templates, something templates. And I'm using the 3x3, and they're super sturdy, and you can just take your scissors here like I'm doing and cut down to the size that you want. They come in various sizes, not that I'm a spokesperson or anything, but I really enjoy them. I've had them for a really long time in my stash. And here I'm just cutting out some papers. I'm kind of just randomly putting them on the layout, and then I'm gonna play around with them after everything is cut out. So I'm using primarily the scraps that I have there from the previous layouts. And then I am going to go in because I knew I absolutely wanted to play with the 6x6 paper pad. I love that paper, so yeah, it's gonna get used. I'm like, oh, I really don't want to cut into it, but let's do it. Let's cut into it. So I'm like, oh, maybe I can use the flip side for a mat for my photo. It's gonna be a 1 photo layout, and here I'm just going ahead and I'm cutting the 3x3 block from that. I end up using a total of 6 squares, 6 3x3 squares, and then once I figure out which ones I want where, then I quickly realize I'm like I could have fit another row. It might have been a little tight, but I knew I definitely wanted a space since the papers are a little bit on the busy side, the majority of them. I did want a space down at the bottom. I know you can't tell it's ledger paper, but I wanted to do my title at the bottom. So here I'm just contemplating what other pattern paper I want to bring in. And I'm kind of just loosely playing around with them and seeing where would I want these, right? I'm trying to separate so that the busy pattern papers aren't, I don't know what I was doing here, like I can freehand cut. I ended up cutting a little too much. That first one I was like, oh, I didn't cut enough, but the second one I was like, oh yeah, who am I freehanding? I'm like, I'll just cover it up somehow. No one will know the why. No one will be the wiser, right? So I'm just trying to look for the third pattern paper. I know I want it to be more on the subtle side, but I'm not 100% sure about what paper. So you'll see me flipping here back and forth. I don't want to bring anything in that's too blue. And yep, that's definitely one of my favorites, and it for sure makes it onto this layout. So 3 of the pattern papers have, actually, no, that's incorrect. I think all of the pattern papers have some type of heart motif, some very little, some a little bit larger, but they're to scale, right? Because they're smaller, because they're in the 6x6 paper pad. Even the ones from the pattern paper, I really didn't like the bold ones that had the heart, so I've just I believe this is how I end up configuring the 6 blocks, so I'm really happy with that. And then I'm just going to go through my swatches. This is how I have swatched my my inks. So any stamp pads, I should say, That's what I refer to as inks. Any stamp pads that I have, whether they're Tim Holtz, whether they're Hero Arts. What else do I have in my stash? I have some. I think I have some VersaFine as well, and some Prima. So any of those are in this little loop, and that's the one I've chosen. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna just run and get that. I've been contemplating recently about bringing my inks on the bottom of my Raskog cart. If you've been watching some of my videos, I know I've talked a little bit about wanting to fill the bottom part of my Raskog with stuff that I may not use on every layout, but that I do use, and I can reach for because I frequently bring my Raskog close to me when I'm scrapbooking, and then I can I have a place where I can tuck it in when I don't need to use it. Okay, so I had a little note on the back of the swatch that said, go find, like, it's the ink pad with the black bottom and the clear top. Well, there are two of them. I don't know if that's something recent. I knew this was my older one because I've had it. I remember that it has a little piece of white paper on top. But I kind of just had to do a little test strip. So it is my older one. I have no idea who these are by or anything, which is why I have to just kind of make little notes for myself on the back of the swatch as to which one it is. I have noticed that I don't know, because I don't know what brand these are. I don't know how much life they have left, which is, I'm afraid that the tops are a little bit flimsy. So they've stayed on because I don't move them around a lot, but I did put them in a plastic bag just so that in the event that they do come loose, they don't go all over the bottom of my, right now they're in my Alex drawers in my room. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to ink all of the edges. And here I've spared you. I've gone ahead and inked all of the edges. And now I'm using some of that other paper pad, which are really cards. I'm using that to back my photos because the papers, for the most part, are really pretty. I don't have an issue with any of the papers. I just know myself. I knew that I probably would not use the cards, and I have not yet used the cards, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use the edges. I'm going to just use it to matte. I'm looking at the edges right now, and then I'm just going to trim this, and then I'm going to double matte it on a different color paper. But this is a really pretty pink on pink heart, small heart paper. So it continues the motif, and sorry, I probably could have sped this up a little bit. So yeah, I definitely like that, but you'll see, I feel like I need a little bit more of a contrast. And in the collection and in the paper pad, there's additions of turquoise and a light blue. And so I've gone ahead and I'm going to select one of those. And I end up going with this color. And again, I'm just going to use that to matte. Yep, just like that. Oh, guys. All right. Let's see. During this holiday season, every year I contemplate this because I started noticing that my trimmer is cutting crooked again. And I swear, they're brand new pieces of paper and I'm trimming and the trims are coming out crooked. I'm like, is it me? Like, what do I do? So every year I go through this and I go ahead and I put the caterpillar crop in my Amazon every year. And this year is the same. I am I don't get me wrong. I do like my trimmer because it does allow me to, it's been very light for me, as I'm continuing to recover from my surgery. This particular surgery, for those of you who are unfamiliar, I had rotator cuff surgery. It is the surgery went off, it was successful and all of that stuff. The recovery for anyone that's recovering from this particular surgery is lengthy. And so, as of right now, when I'm recording this, I still can't lift over a pound. So that's why I haven't bought it. And it just, the new trimmer, and it just sits. And then eventually, like, I talk myself out of it. But I don't know about this year. I'm not 100% sure. So here, go ahead and hydrate. If you're watching this, hydrate. Um, and I'm going to start embellishing, or trying to select some embellishments. So these are some really old embellishment pieces. They're enamel pieces, and then I have some rubber pieces in there as well. These enamel pieces are double-sided. I'm going to show you in a second here. But I'm just making the selection for now. And then I think I'm going to show you guys, because they are double-sided, like I was just going to toss them until I started looking at them a little bit closer. And that, and I did try it. I've tried it in a previous video. And you can actually put like a pokey tool in between and separate them. So you actually get more out of your supplies than what the embellishment was intended for. So now I've selected those, and I'm going to go through the rest of the embellishments here that I have pulled. Having a limited amount of supplies, definitely, I've noticed, is much easier for me. I get very overwhelmed really easy with too much stuff on my desk, too much product on my desk. So that is one thing about the collection obsession, that if I have an entire collection, it's really good for me to just work with that and work with the entire collection. But even if I was to make a kit on my own, I, for myself, find that not having too much stuff on my surface works just a little bit better for me. So here I'm just making some decisions around what I want to bring in. I have my title, and I'm just looking to see. This is a Valentine's themed thickers pack that came in I think it was a Simple Stories warehouse box. So I just am going through that, pulling in some additional. That sticker sheet, I don't know. I never owned that collection. It was one that I picked up from a swap table with, I think, a couple of papers. But that's all basically that I have left. So I'm going to bring in all of the stuff that I'm setting off to the left here. I am going to consider to bring onto this layout. Some of these I want to bring in, but I'm not 100% sure. And so if I don't want to consider them, I'm going to look through this little pack. This is an old QVC pack, and I don't end up finding anything here. Sorry for the interruption. I need to have a recording light on at the top of the stairs. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start, because frequently once I get going, I'm good. So I am going through, here I'm showing you that two-sided enamel piece is I'm just taking them apart really easy with my little pokey tool here. And what was once 2 embellishments is now 4. Oh, actually, what was now 6, 3 embellishments is now 6. So I've gone ahead, fast forwarded for you. I've used my tab punch, my circle punches, and my heart punch to punch out some shapes from the pattern paper so that I can use that to tuck in place on my layout. And I've started to put the base of, I put those at the base of my title, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start just auditioning different pieces for the rest of the layout. Yeah. So that's something that I frequently do. Like once my, if they're really nice pattern papers, I do tend to create some where I think they'll be really versatile on layouts other than this. I will go ahead and I will punch out those shapes so that I have those and I can easily bring them into other layouts. So yeah, I really like it. And then I'll go ahead and continue to audition the pieces here. And then I'm gonna just bring in my my glue here. I have an old Ranger point that I was able to fit. I went to a local scrapbooking store and they had a whole bunch of these like skinny tips for like Ranger products, probably mixed media stuff. They just had a whole bunch of them, like just the tops. So I ended up buying a couple of them, and so I was very delighted to find the fact that that particular one fits very well on this. Oh goodness, what is this brand? It'll come to me. It'll come to me that they sell the clear one with the blue top, and then oh, I can't think of the name of the glue. You guys know this glue. But it's not even the glue that's in there. I just like the container, and so I use my Scotch tacky glue, and I just pour it in here because of the fine tip. I didn't want to have to, this works just fine. I didn't want to have to go and like, I know that there's these fine tips for the tacky glue as well, but I already have this, like, why purchase other stuff? It works pretty well. And the container for this, like the glue bottle, has held up really, really well. So, yeah, no complaints there. You know, why I'm not gonna change stuff up just for the sake of changing. But here I've gone ahead, I've adhered everything, and even used my circle punch to punch out those little circles. You just see me here, and I found some a sticker in my use it up bin, so I am going to layer one of those things that I've punched out, and I can't remember which one it was now. Is it that one? I don't know, but you'll see me eventually all of this, but that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going through my use it up drawer and I'm trying to make some decisions about what I can bring in. I can tell you that there have been some things in here that I was like, oh, I'll never use that. You know, this will never get used. Let me throw it in here. And sure enough, I have found a way to be able to use them. So, and sit down right now because you're not going to believe this. So at the bottom of my use it up bin are these rub-ons, and I'm going to make some decisions about where I want to use them. I have put foam, the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals on the back of those just so that they pop up a little bit. And I'm going to show you in a second the the rub-ons, you guys. I'm sorry, this is like, I probably could have cut some of this out, but then it's fine. You guys don't mind. We've only got about 7 or so minutes left of the video. And that includes the wrap it up. So stay tuned if you're interested in looking and seeing all of the layouts that I previously created with this collection. Just stay tuned. I'm going to do a wrap up at the end once I'm finishing here. Okay, so this package is so old that I could not get it open. Yeah, can you guess? Can you guess how old it is? Guess how old it is. What year? And I'm going to, it's the perfect shade of not the light pink, but like the more corally pink. So I do end up using these rub-ons. I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know if they're going to work. Let's see. Let me get my little rub-on tool and let's give it a try. Let's see what happens with this one. And you guys, I was so pleasantly surprised, like butter. Like butter. Amazing. Amazing. So I do end up putting one in every cluster. So I'm just trying to look for one more. I was so afraid like that I was going to get, I was going to press, like my arm was going to press too much and then I was going to mess up my layout. And I used 3 of those flowers up, you guys. And that's amazing. And here I'm like, can you see? Can you see how old? Color Rubs Florals. I think, is this by Scrapworks? I can't remember. I should look. Let's see. Here I'm going to write down what year it's from. Did you guess 2005? 2005 rub-ons, you guys. They're getting used. All right, so that essentially is the I'm coming close here. I am going to do a little bit of splatter, and I'm going through my go-to bin right now. That's where I keep my samples of my little swatches of my distress spray inks. So I'm just trying to find the perfect color here. And once I do, I will go and get it, but I don't end up doing it on screen. I think even in the wrap up, I had forgotten to do the splatters, but I've selected it. It's the Peacock by Heidi Swapp. Here is the final layout, and here comes the wrap up. Hey guys, I am back real time to just do a quick wrap up for the February collection Obsession. So here are, I'm going to show you really quickly my layouts. I will ensure that the playlist is attached in the description box and also in the last frame that you'll see here on the video, in case you've missed any of these layouts and are wanting to look for wanting to see the process videos. I just realized I forgot to do my splatters, but on the last layout. So I had pulled this out, so I'll do it off camera here in a second. I will also have the playlist of everyone that has been playing along with us with the series. So this is layout number 1. It was a 1-pager with the 3 photos. Here is, it's going to be hard to see, but there's a pink background on this one, and it's an 8.5 by 11. And here is layout number 3. Let me just make sure you can see it all. And I'm sorry if you're seeing glare. That's normally why I go like over here. But anyway, you get the gist of it. Yeah, I really love I really love the way that the layouts came out. They're all very different from one another. This one is my most current one, and this will finish off the month of February. You have seen that I have documented different life events that all aren't pertaining necessarily to Valentine's Day with a Valentine's collection. So I encourage you. I only have one true like Valentine related, but it tells a bit of a longer story. But this has nothing to do with love or Valentine's Day. This one does. This is a little different. It's I wouldn't say it's about a love of shows, TV shows, and then this definitely is about love. But yeah, I'm very happy with the way that the layouts have come out, and I'm super excited for next month's kit. I have not yet pulled that, but I'll be very excited to share that with you guys coming up very soon. And then you can look forward to my my updates on a weekly basis as to what photos are going to be using with that particular kit. And that's kind of how Collection Obsession works. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.